Hey everyone, settle in, get comfy, and let's journey back in time together. Tonight, we're talking about a name that once echoed in every corner of the globe, Nokia. This isn't just a history lesson. It's a story of incredible highs, shocking lows, and powerful business lessons that are more relevant today than ever. So, dim the lights and let's begin. Imagine a time before smart was the default for phones. A time of indestructible bricks, snake, and batteries that lasted for days. That was Nokia's world, and they didn't just live in it, they built it. From its humble beginnings in Finland, not as a phone company, but as a paper mill, then moving into rubber boots and cables, Nokia was a master of reinvention. This adaptability is our first key takeaway. Great businesses aren't afraid to evolve. They had their finger on the pulse of the industrial age, and when the telecommunications wave started to swell, they didn't hesitate to ride it. By the late 90s and early 2000s, Nokia was unstoppable. Remember the Nokia 3310? Of course you do. It was a cultural icon. They weren't just selling phones. They were selling reliability, simplicity, and a sense of connection. Their marketing was genius, focusing on connecting people. It was a human-centric approach that resonated deeply. They understood. They made phones in vibrant colors with interchangeable faceplates, letting people express themselves. This is lesson number 2. Know your customer and build a brand that speaks to their heart, not just their wallet. Nokia wasn't just a product. It was a part of your identity. Their success was staggering. At their peak, Nokia held over 40% of the global mobile phone market share. Think about that for a second. Almost every other phone sold in the world was a Nokia. They were innovating too, releasing phones with cameras, internet browsers, and experimenting with different form factors. They were the kings of the hardware game, masters of manufacturing and supply chain logistics. Their phones were tough, their software was simple, and their brand was golden. It seemed like their reign would last forever, but in the world of technology, forever is a very, very short time. Deep within the walls of Nokia, however, not all was well. The company that had once been so nimble had become a giant, and with size came complexity and bureaucracy. They were operating on 2 main software platforms, Symbian and a new one called Memo. This internal division created competition instead of collaboration. Different departments fought for resources and for their vision of the future to be the one the company pursued. This brings us to a crucial and perhaps painful lesson. Internal unity is paramount. A company at war with itself cannot effectively fight battles in the marketplace. While they were arguing internally, a storm was brewing in Cupertino. Then, in 2007, everything changed. Steve Jobs walked onto a stage and introduced the iPhone. It wasn't just a phone. It was a tiny, powerful computer that fit in your pocket. It had a massive touchscreen, a revolutionary user interface, and something Nokia severely underestimated: the App Store. Nokia's leadership reportedly didn't see the iPhone as a major threat. They saw it as a niche, expensive device that couldn't compete with their efficient manufacturing and global reach. They believed their brand strength and hardware superiority would win out. This is the most critical business lesson of our story. Never ever underestimate your competition. And more importantly, never underestimate a fundamental shift in the market. Nokia was still playing chess while Apple had just invented a whole new game. The iPhone wasn't about making calls. It was about the experience. It was about the software. Nokia was a hardware company trying to exist in a new software-defined world. Their Symbian operating system, once a leader, felt clumsy and outdated compared to the sleek, intuitive iOS. At the same time, another player entered the game, Google's Android. It was an open-source platform, meaning any manufacturer could use it and adapt it. This was the final blow. While Nokia was stubbornly sticking to its own aging software, competitors like Samsung, HTC and Motorola embraced Android and began flooding the market with a diverse range of smartphones at every price point. Nokia was caught in a pincer movement, squeezed between the premium experience of Apple and the versatile open ecosystem of Android. Their response was a series of missteps. They appointed a new CEO from Microsoft, Stephen Elop, who famously wrote the burning platform memo, admitting the company was in crisis. Instead of choosing the rapidly growing Android, they made a high-stakes bet, announcing an exclusive partnership with Microsoft's Windows Phone. The idea was to create a third ecosystem, but it was too little, too late. Developers were focused on iOS and Android, and without a robust app ecosystem, the Windows Phone couldn't attract users. The burning platform they jumped onto was, unfortunately, in the middle of a cold, empty ocean. The fall was as swift and dramatic as the rise. Market share evaporated, factories closed, and tens of thousands of jobs were lost. The once mighty king of mobile phones had been dethroned. In 2013, in a move that would have been unthinkable just a few years earlier, Nokia sold its entire mobile phone division to Microsoft. The brand that had connected millions of people faded from the pockets and hands of the world. So what's the ultimate takeaway from this epic tale? Nokia's story is a powerful cautionary tale about the dangers of success. Success can breed arrogance and complacency. It can make you slow, bureaucratic, and blind to the disruptive innovations happening right under your nose. Nokia didn't fail because they stopped making good products. They failed because they missed the future. They clung to what made them successful in the past, unable to embrace the software-centric, ecosystem-driven world of the smartphone. The lesson is simple but profound. Always stay hungry, always stay humble, and never stop looking at what's coming over the horizon. The world changes, and you have to be willing to change with it. Even if it means letting go of the very things that once made you great. Thank you for joining me on this journey tonight. I hope this story was both entertaining and insightful. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel for more stories like this. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night from us at Bedtime Business Stories.